Okay, so we've been digging into 50 years of financial data, and we found something pretty wild. A huge pattern that explains why so many of us feel like we're just treading water financially. It's a massive paradox, and we're about to break it down for you. So, first, let's look at the good news. The average American household today earns 3 times more than it did back in 1970. And that's after adjusting for inflation. So, on paper, we should all be feeling pretty well off, right? More money is coming in than ever. But that's only half the story. Because here's the other side of that coin. Back in 1970, people were saving about 17% of their income, a really healthy number. And today, that number has completely collapsed to less than 4%. So if we're earning so much more, where on earth is all that money going?
So what gives? If it's not an income problem, what is it? Well, our analysis points to 4 very specific mechanisms. And these aren't accidents. They're deliberately built into the system around us, and they're all designed to do one thing: separate you from your money.
Let's start with the first two. These are external forces, invisible systems that are carefully, and I mean carefully, engineered to make you spend more money, often without you even realizing what's happening. Let me tell you a quick story about a guy named Jason. At 26, he's making 40 grand a year. Then, boom, he gets a huge promotion. Now he's making $65,000. Awesome, right? But what happens? 6 months later, he's got a new car, a much nicer apartment, a fancy gym membership, and the result? He was actually saving less money each month, even though he was earning $25,000 more a year. That right there is the lifestyle inflation trap. And listen, Jason's story isn't the exception, it's the rule. Studies show that a staggering 72% of us increase our spending by 90% or more of every single raise we get. We just automatically upgrade our lifestyle and end up right back where we started, or sometimes even worse off. Now for the second mechanism, frictionless spending. Think about it for a second. When you hand over physical cash, there's a little moment of emotional pain, right? It feels real. But swiping a card or tapping your phone or using one-click buy, all that pain just vanishes. And companies know this. They've found people spend anywhere from 12 to 18% more when that physical friction is removed. And let me be clear, this is not an accident. It is entirely by design. A single company, like Amazon, employs over 500 behavioral scientists. Their entire job is to figure out how to shrink the time between "I want that" and "I bought that," basically eliminating any chance for your rational brain to step in and say, "Hey, wait a minute." Okay, now let's get into the next two mechanisms. And honestly, these are even more insidious. They prey on the fact that most of us never learned about money, creating a system that is perfectly designed for debt. And this right here is really the root of the problem. The average American kid spends about 2,160 days in school, from kindergarten through 12th grade. But guess how much time, on average, is spent learning about personal finance in all those years? Less than 7 hours. Total. We literally learn more about the Pythagorean theorem than we do about how taxes or interest rates actually work. And that massive gap in education creates a vacuum that predatory businesses are more than happy to fill. The data shows this crystal clear pattern. In the places where financial literacy is the lowest, things like payday loans and super high interest credit cards are the most common. Their business model literally profits from our lack of knowledge. So what's the immediate cost of all this? Well, the average American who has credit card debt pays $1,440 every single year just in interest. That's money that isn't even paying down what you owe. It's just a fee for being in debt. It vanishes into thin air. But here's the true cost, and it is so much higher. What if you took that same $1,440 a year and invested it instead? Over 20 years, it could grow to around $82,000. So the debt isn't just costing you money today, it's robbing you of a potential fortune tomorrow. And this is the trap that is designed to keep you stuck. That minimum payment on your statement, it is mathematically engineered to keep you in debt for the maximum amount of time. Look at this example. A simple $3,000 balance could take you 14 years to pay off if you only make minimum payments. And in the end, you'll pay back over double what you originally borrowed. It's crazy. Okay, I know that sounds pretty bleak, but here's the good news. Once you understand how this system is designed, you can build your own counter system to beat it. So let's walk through 4 simple, really actionable steps you can take. Okay, 1.
Automate your savings. The second you get a raise or any new income, set up an automatic transfer for 50% of it straight to savings. You'll beat lifestyle inflation before it even starts. 2. Create spending friction with the 48-hour rule. For any non-essential purchase over, say, $30, just force yourself to wait 2 days. 3. Schedule 30 minutes a week, put it on your calendar for actual structured financial learning. Read a book, take a course. And 4, if you have debt, use the debt avalanche method. Pay the minimum on everything, but throw every single extra dollar you have at the debt with the highest interest rate. It's the fastest way out.
So here's the main takeaway, and I want you to really let this sink in. You are not bad with money. You are just never taught how it works, all while living inside a system that literally spends billions of dollars to make sure it works against you. Just understanding that, seeing the game for what it is, that's the first and most powerful step to taking back control.
None of those steps require you to make more money. They just require a decision to understand the rules and refuse to play by them anymore. The power is completely in your hands. So the only real question left is, which one of these 4 steps are you going to put into action this week?